Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tango DC channel, and I am Rene. I am a tango instructor, and I will guide you today through a few steps that are going to be, they look complicated, but they're not going to be that difficult to learn. But I don't want to start this lesson without thinking about that this is the last lesson that I am doing in 2020. A challenging year, a year that is so it brought a lot of negativity to the world. However, we have a hope and we are working on that. That's the reason why we're doing so many interesting things at our homes, from my home to your home. And there's so many things to be thankful for still. There are so many plans that I'm preparing for you that I'm so very excited for that. Starting with the Milonga this tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to have Emiliano Messias, and we're going to have his music, his experiences. It's going to be a wonderful reason to keep being together with you. And we're going to, I just want to let you know that we're going to start the next year with a wonderful workshop where we're going to learn a lot of interesting details about the history of tango. The history of tango, not only with dates and names, because sometimes those are overwhelming, but geared with the music. And for that, we have invited a great musician, Emiliano Messias, and a great historian who is graduated from the University of New York. So they are going to be with us the second, the third, and fourth Sundays of the month of January. I'll keep you posted. I'll give you more information through our Facebook page. So please don't stop checking out your Facebook, because there's going to be a lot of interesting things. Also, we are still doing a lot of interesting conversations, stories. In every episode, there's a lot of things to learn in our podcast called The Tangling Tangos that you can get on Spotify. Once again, go to the Facebook page and you're going to find a lot of interesting content there. So with that said, with all these plans, with all these gifts that we are giving to you, I want to say also thank you so very much for being here, for letting me for letting me get in touch with you, being in your living room, in your dancing area, and learn a little bit of the things I want to share with you. So today, we're going to do a very interesting, it's a very simple molinete. It's called a walking molinete. This is not a regular molinete. It is going to be just a very interesting molinete. And at the very end, we're going to learn how to change that a little bit. The structure of it is going to be a little bit modified in order to make the movement a little bit more interesting and, of course, more beautiful for the ladies. This exercise, for now, we're going to start by leading just back ochos, and then we're going to make a little pause, and that is when the lead has to be very, very precise. For that, I'm going to show first, as usual I do, the part for the leaders. In this case, I wanted the leaders to start just thinking of back ocho. We're going to do 2 back ochos, and then we're going to, as we did last week, we're going to make a little bit of a pause. So, when I think of 2 back ochos, I'm going to think side step, lift my partner up, collect my feet. I'm going to pivot her. By pivoting her, look at my chest. I am taking her with me, and I'm inviting. When I invite, I lower my center. And then one more time, back ocho. At this point, I'm going to just keep her like switching her weight from one foot to the other. This is just a practice. It's not part of the movement, but I want you to remember that it is very important to make your dance partner feel very comfortable. Most of the ladies are very proactive and they are going to try to do some movement. This is kind of like I am telling her, wait for me. I'm going to let you know in a minute and I'm going to be very clear. Okay? So, you ladies, followers, try to be patient with your movements and be patient also with the leader. Let him express, listen to him until he finishes his sentence. So at this point, gentlemen, all you're going to do is switch your weight to your left foot. So her weight is also going to be on her left foot. And then hold her with your arm in her back, holding her shoulder blade. That means that you're not letting her torso come back in front of you. And with this position, invite her to walk around you at the same time that you're walking with her. What does that mean? Bum, 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 and at the end, 6, 7, 8. Probably you already guessed that. Now, as you can tell, this is so very, very simple, but there are a little bit of nuances that before I use the sticks, I want to talk about what I am doing with my torso in the lead. Once again, 2 back ochos. I go 1, I go 2. Now from here, if my frame, let's say we're playing, switching our weight from one foot to the other without bending my knees. If I bend my knees, she's going to probably bend her knees as well. I don't want that to happen. So I want you to be very active in the joints of your hips. And then immediately you switch to your left. Look, I'm going to explain this a little bit later in the exercise for our feet, but I want you to think of your frame as something extremely solid. I'm moving, see how I'm moving my torso first, and then I march with her. So, although I'm making her walk, my torso is leading the movement, and then my feet follow. That is because the lady, she needs to be on time with the music. My torso is anticipating a little bit that moment of the music. Don't think about it too much. If you have the knowledge already, if you have the musicality in tango, it is going to be, it's going to make sense what I just said. However, it is very important also for me to make you understand how this association works. First, the upper part of your body is going and then you're moving your feet. So there's always some stretch in your movement. I just force myself to show you exactly how my obliques are working. It doesn't mean that you have to be this tense. So if I go back to the exercise, see, I do the back ochos, 1 and 2. I play a little bit and then bum, 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 bum. I'm going to make, let's say, because she's always going to be walking like this. Okay, so, and after that, we're going to lead her into 6 forward steps. What does that mean? I'm going to do the followers part for a second so you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is just, I just want you to realize with these 6 steps that the left leg of the lady is arriving in front of you. And after that, you're going to move her body closer to your chest, making a pivot, and then you're going to finish in 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to try to do now exactly as I just showed you. Side step, back ocho, back ocho. I play a little bit, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For now, I'm going to finish there, and I'm going to continue 6, 7, 8. This 6, 7, 8 basic step. Okay? Now let's see how can I show you this with the sticks. Just a reminder, the fancy shoe is her right leg. The regular shoe is her left leg. I'm going to try to use that line of dance so you can see the exercise from a diagonal perspective. So I go side step, I lift my chest so she's able to pivot in just one foot. I make her go one step, another step, and here I'm going to make, once again, I want you to understand this part. This is not required if you already have a little bit of knowledge of the tango movements. This is to make you feel comfortable with the movement, both as a leader and as a follower. And then right after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my weight on my left side, and I'm going to start holding her very firmly with my right hand. I'm going to keep her back completely on that side. I want my arm to prevent her to face my chest again. So doing that, I'm going to count 6 steps that she's going to do. The first one is going to be with her right foot. So she goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how I'm walking with her 6, and then I collect, I switch my weight. 6, 7, and 8 of the basic. Let's try to do that again. Side, 1, 2, and here I start the 6 steps. See how I'm moving my torso first, and she goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the 6th, I'm going to deposit my weight on my left foot. This is going to help me not to lose my balance. Then I switch again, keeping her up, and I'm going to finish 6, 7, and 8. Very simple. Let's try to do it on the other side. Side step, back ocho, another back ocho. I play a little bit, and then I start leading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I switch my weight on that left foot, making sure that I have all the balance there. I'm holding her very nice, her axis. I switch my weight to my right, and then I'm going to keep going 6, 7, and 8. As you can tell, the footwork is very simple. There is no secret. There is no interesting part in that lead. So when you're doing this exercise, it's a wonderful time to practice your musicality. It's very basic. See, the music in the background is the music of Osvaldo Pugliese. With Osvaldo Pugliese, a lot of instructors recommend not to do Osvaldo Pugliese until you're really good in musicality. I think the opposite, because Osvaldo Pugliese is so very clear with his beat. Of course, in the moment that the melody is the most important part of his music, then it becomes a little bit strange, new, not usual. But don't be afraid. He's going to come back. After all, he is Osvaldo Pugliese, so he is going to come back to the rhythm in a very nice and strong way that you're not going to be lost. So when you're making the lady walk around you, it's a combination. You need to know your beat, I mean your feet going to the floor, but you have to focus in what she's doing. So in other words, I'm forcing you to think as the legs of the lady as an extension of your own body. So you're dancing with her body to the music. So boom, boom, boom. It doesn't matter what I am doing with my feet. Her feet are the most important part in order to keep that musicality going. Now, I'm going to show you an exercise, which is a lot of fun. I'm calling it an exercise, but whenever I do it in the milonga, when I'm dancing, it's so very, it makes my dance partner always happy. It's a little bit of a hesitation at the very first moment when I usually do it. Most ladies are kind of like, there's a quotation mark in their bodies. But after I do it, they discover that this is so simple. And, you know, after all, this confusion part, I can feel their bodies smiling because it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you how to do this exercise and thinking also in the musicality of it. This is the first part of having fun with this step. So I'm going to take that diagonal line as usual and 2 back ochos, 1, 2. Now here I do the exercise and I start walking. So I'm going to do this in very slow motion. I'm going to take 2 beats. Bam, bam, bam. Now look what I'm going to do. Every time my upper body is moving, she's following me, right? So I'm going to make her go with the music back and forth. Bam, 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 bam. Look how, in order to lead this part, I'm moving my chin, my nose, and my chest. Everything at the same time. My upper body is moving like a solid. And a whole thing. I'm not doing this. Or I'm not doing this. I'm going with her. Okay? And after that, I finish the step. I can play with her left leg. I can play with her right leg. It depends on you. The thing is that when I do it, now I'm going to show you how it works with the musicality. It's fun. It's very exciting. It makes the lady enjoy these steps in a different way. So, 2 back ochos. 1, 2. I hold the movement there for a little bit. If you are a skilled dancer, you can skip this. And then I go. Da, da. So you can see I'm going to do it here. I already know a little bit of the song. The song is already imprinted in my soul, so I know when to stop doing it so I can finish and walk. And slowly you're going to discover how to do that with all the songs. Not that you have to learn by heart, but because you already are familiar with the music, you're not going to even think about it. It's going to just come out in a very natural way, very fluid. So I was playing in the previous case, I was playing with her left leg. I'm going to play now with her right leg. Same thing. I go back ocho, another one. See how I'm going to? Her left leg is doing the uneven numbers. Just, this is not important to know, but I'm just giving you a very interesting way of counting. 1, 2, 3. In the third, I changed the direction. And then I keep going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is one of the first exercises that to me is, I love it to be practical, and I also love to train you in kind of like not only smart moves using the technique, but I want you to have fun. I want you to be able to create things out from something as simple as a change of directions, okay? Or a change of weight. We're not even changing the direction, we're just doing a syncopation. And a syncopation is, we call syncopation when we are dancing quick, and then slow. Usually we go slow, 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 slow. In this case, we're going quick, slow, quick, slow. Don't worry, ladies. I know that you're already desperate to know what you have to do, but give me a few minutes with the gentleman. In the last part, when you are able to do all these little things, if you notice, the way that I was walking is very simple. When we're doing that part, when we invite the lady to walk around us, all I'm doing is, my weight is here, all I'm doing is just look at my feet. They are walking, they are moving, let's say, in the same way that the arms of the clock move. Bum, 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 bum. My heels were they were very passive. They were trying to stay put in that same spot all the time, and I am pivoting only until the last part of the step of the set of this exercise is done, and then I was finishing 6, 7, 8. We're going to try now to do a Sakada. That's the reason why I was asking you, many of you probably, especially those that already dance, why are we starting to walk with this foot? That would make more sense together with the lady. But I want you to go with this foot, because this foot we're going to use to do a very nice, and I'm going to call it soft Sakada. It's not so much that we're going to displace that leg, but we're going to play with it while she's walking. And let me explain to you how we're going to do that. I need the sticks for this. So in the same way that we did before, I'm going to lead 2 back ochos, I transfer my weight to my left, and look what is going to happen here. Instead of leading with my torso and stepping here, I'm going to walk right in front of her foot. And see, while I'm walking, I'm moving my torso in that direction. So I'm basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm ejecting this leg away. Boom. She walks. Then she walks the next step. As soon as she's walking the next step, I go again. I'm only doing this Sakada with my right foot to her right foot. And look where I am stepping. So, boom, 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 boom. Now, ideally, my torso is never connecting with what my feet are doing. So I don't want it to go. If I move my torso together with my foot, she's going to feel that, and she's going to make an emphasis in her forward step with her left leg, but not so much in the step with her right leg. So she's going to be walking like limping, long, short, okay? So it has to be even. And that evenness, if I can call it that same size of the steps is generated by my ability to lead continuously in a fluid way, so she doesn't have to change the size of her steps. So let me show you that again. We go to back ochos. And at the end, we're going to finish exactly the same. Okay? When we do this movement, it doesn't feel too much for us as leaders, but we're going to discover that the ladies can turn that Sakada, that little impulse, in a very beautiful exercise. So I'm going to do this once again. That is going to be the direction. And pay attention, because this time I'm going to do it in a slow motion. Back ocho, another back ocho, I play, I prepare. Of course, I made more steps so you could see. I didn't exit in the same direction. I changed a little bit because I was not paying attention about that. I just wanted you to see how my body was doing the movement in a very fluid and continuous way. Two things that I want you to remember. When you're doing the Sakada, and if you touch her leg, like I just did to the stick, that's completely wrong. That is not a Sakada. A Sakada doesn't mean patada. It's very similar in Spanish. Patada is to do this. Sakada is to... a wonderful way of translating Sakada to me is to steal. I'm stealing that space that she's using, and I am ending up using it. But it's like pickpocketing. I am not going to let her know that I am stealing that space. I just move myself and displace her body. If I touch her leg, I want you to understand that that is probably a very aggressive way of doing it, and we don't want to be aggressive. We don't want to be physical when we're dancing, because it feels, the lady is going to feel like she's being kicked, and that is going to reflect in the way that she's expressing with her body. And you know, everybody needs to say "oh" when you're dancing. Nobody wants to say "whoa," "ooh," "ow," right? So you have to feel that "oh." The lady needs to feel that "oh." Everybody needs to feel that "oh." The moment that you feel that everybody is glued to your steps, to your lead, to your dance, that's a very interesting moment, because that means that you're doing something that is coming from your heart, that is coming from your soul, because you're making it look so very easy that everybody's thinking, that looks so good that I can probably do it. So good and so easy that I can probably do it myself. So, one last time, in slow motion. Back, I control, I switch my way to my left, and I keep working with my right, doing the Sakadas. Six, 7, and 8. Okay? And don't worry, next week we're going to try to add this set of steps to the other sets that we were doing before. So this is very simple. I am just trying to work on your musicality. So try to practice this until next week, and then we're going to discover how we can add this musicality that we're practicing with this exercise to the other sets that we were doing. Now let me explain to the ladies what they have to do. For the ladies, this is very simple, but at the same time, it's a lead that probably most of you are not really familiar with. The name of this Molinette that you're doing is called walking Molinette, because all you're doing is walking around the leader. There's nothing complicated. You're just walking. So in order to a little bit make you feel comfortable about this, it's not walking like guessing where you're going to walk. Whenever I use the term walk, think of you as walking down the street. When we walk down the street, we're walking usually with confidence. Of course, it's not the same because you're dancing, but you have to have that feeling that, you know, whenever we're walking on the street, we never bend, most of us, we never bend our knees. We're walking, elongating the legs, and the first part of our body that is touching the ground are the heels in every step. That makes us elongated upwards. That is like making us look tall. If we bend our bodies, it doesn't look tall, it doesn't look elongated. So I want to remind you of that. But at the same time, and this is particular to anyone, I just say it because it's in my eyes, it looks a little bit more beautiful. Try to walk using the joints of your hips, because that is going to enhance the movement, even if you're wearing a skirt or if you're wearing a fluid clothes, like I would say, because, you know, pants, all these beautiful dresses that are very common in tango, they have movement. So if you move your body, if you move your core, even while you're walking, that is going to enhance the movement of your clothing. As a consequence, what you would be using is your, like I said to the leaders, you're using, they were using your legs as extensions of their bodies. Now I want you to use your accessories as extensions of your body. So it's like you're sending your skirt a little further away, enhancing that movement. When I think about that, I focus in how to move my body to be able to, in some other ways, to make that movement even go away of my body and then come back. Okay? I know that the terms that I'm using are very, very complicated, probably, but imagine that for a second, that you're making the movement exit your body, the movement is going somewhere else, and then you catch it when it's falling again to your body. Okay? This exercise, as you have heard me say to the leaders, it starts with 2 back ochos. So I'm going to go, that is the line of dance. I'm going to show you from here. The leader is right in front of me. I'm going to do 2 back ochos. So in order to remind you about that feeling of not bending your knees and walk using your core, see, in this part that I ask the leaders to bounce you from one foot to the other, that's when you have to feel your core. If I move my center a little bit forward, I feel more weight on my hip because I'm not bending my knees. I feel all the weight here, and as a consequence, this hip is going a little bit towards my left side. If I switch the weight back, I feel it on the other hip. If I do it continuously, you're going to realize, I'm really moving my joints, my hip joints. That feeling is very nice. It elongates a lot of muscles. After you're here, you're going to feel that the leader is locking his arm. He's like not going to let you face him. He's going to hold you very tight here, and he's going to invite you with his torso to walk around. That's all the thing that you have to do at the very beginning. Okay? That was the line of dancing. If you think and put together all the information that I gave to the leaders, let's say the leader is here and I'm here, and when I start walking, I'm going to try to, as followers do when they are doing a molinete, I'm going to try to avoid his feet. So for that, I'm going to do elongated steps, trying not to get too close to his feet. Not even thinking about his feet. You are walking in that direction, and the leader is here. So you're always walking away of the leader, away. He is in charge of pivoting and bringing back to this, I call it Molinete, but because you're moving around the leader, but it feels also like a little bit like a calecita. So the leader is, after you step, because he's moving his torso, he's inviting to a pivot that you barely feel it, but it is a pivot nevertheless. So I want you to be aware of what is happening, especially when you're walking with your left foot. I'm going to place myself in that position again. The first moment that I feel that the leader moves his torso, see, that is inviting me to go pivot. When I walk with the right foot, it doesn't feel that much, but with the left, it's very obvious, because that is the part when his torso is going away from me. When I'm walking with the right, in this case, I'm arriving comfortably. His torso doesn't feel that he's going away, but in the step with the left, with your left, it feels that the leader is moving away. So I need to step. I need to make that pivot. Now, that feeling is only going to happen, I want you to focus in my feet, provided that I'm walking in a straight line all the time. That's the reason why I started telling you this is like walking down the street. I'm going to walk in front of you, and I want you to look at my legs, because it's going to feel, when I walk it right in front of you, it feels like I have just one leg, because I'm covering the space in between my legs. It is not very flattering for you if you walk like this. Right? So, I want to train your body to control every part of your walk, every part of this walking Molinete, because if you walk around the leader doing, like, thinking that you have to make a circle around the leader, what you're doing in reality is, in your forward step, you're doing this. Look how far my legs are from each other. This kind of exercise is not very, it doesn't have any technical skills, and it doesn't look very good. As opposed to, once again, that is the line of dance. I'm going to do 2 back ochos. 1, 2. If I walk, I'm going that way. I'm going to put this foot in front of the other. And then see, the leader pivots me, and all the time, even if I go a little further away, I'm going to feel more the lead bringing me back towards that line that is taking me around the leader. So if you walk towards the leader, this is going to feel a little bit like this. See, and there is no, I'm not really sure how to describe that. It feels a movement with no emotion. When I do this, I feel my core dancing, and whenever my core is involved in the movement, I'm able to connect my feelings to that movement. If my core is locked, it feels like a march, because there's no connection with my soul, with what I'm feeling with the music. It's not that I want you to feel the music immediately, like a shock, like an electrical shock, but see, the music is always telling us something. If I step, just to give you an example, there are so many other ways of feeling the movement. And when that happens, once again, when you feel that the leader is leading you to something and you let your body move in that way, the leader is receiving that message. She's following me in a very interesting way. So he's going to keep connected with you. He's going to try to do a lot more interesting things if you follow with solid technique, with very nice, it's like you're giving him the right answers, and so he can go ahead and present to you other exciting things. So in a very interesting way, what I'm trying to say is that you are responsible for the leader to give you more interesting steps. If you dance the leader is going to be as well. Okay? So ask for more all the time. And I'm going to teach you something a little bit later. When things are like not that exciting, you can even add very exciting things. So in the first part, all you have to do is walk. Bum, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. And you're going to finish 6 again, 7, 8. That 6, 7, 8 of the last part is the basic steps, so it doesn't count to our steps. Now, I asked the leaders to play with your feet, doing a syncopation. In the syncopation, what is happening? You're walking. I'm going to do this just to show you. I'm going to try to walk nicely, like tango dancers do. And then the leader is inviting me to go back and then forward. I'm doing it very slow. This is not the speed. And then he keeps inviting me to walk. So I keep walking. This can happen on the left foot or on the right foot. I'm going to show you both. 1, 2. Now I try it with the other leg. In the syncopation, what is happening is that the leader is requiring, by leading me, to do a little bit of a quick 2-step, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. In that quick time, I don't have the time to transfer my whole weight. You can see, pa, 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 ha. I cannot go like this. The lead is for your core, not so much for your leg. So try to think about that. Now, when we do it together with the leader, 2 back ochos, bouncing from one foot to the other, and then we walk. Okay? So, like I said, it could be your 2 back ochos, with the left leg, or with the right. At the end, I am still dancing with my right leg. I do the last step, and when I feel the leader lifting me up for the to stop me, that leg is going to be left behind. I can keep dancing with that leg, and then 6, 7, and 8. So, as you can tell, the syncopation is something very simple. I'm going to show you what the movements, so you can organize your movements with what the leader is doing. We're going to go in that direction. He leads you to back ochos. He makes you bounce from one foot to the other. And then he's switching your weight to your left foot. His weight is on his left as well. And he starts walking around. I mean, he starts leading for you to walk around. Sometimes he's making you dance, and he keeps going. 6, 7, and 8. Now, as you can tell, this is completely a piece of cake. It's not very interesting. The interesting part is when you feel that the leader is doing a Sakada. These Sakadas are teeny tiny Sakadas. They are not really, the leader is not really coming to use completely your space. He's sending some message to your leg so you can dance. So first, I'm going to show you how it works with the leader doing the Sakada, and then I'm going to teach you how to do this technique so you can control the movement a lot better. So we're going to do 2 back ochos. From here, the leader is just, you're perpendicular to the leader, and I want you to keep this perpendicular position all the time. He's going to switch his weight to his left, switching your weight to your left as well. And then he's going to place his leg, his right leg, in between your feet. At this point, you don't want to do anything. And then he's going to switch his weight, and you're going to feel how your core is being displaced away. So instead of falling, send that leg away. In the next step, he's going to try to do that one more time. And I want you to right now only look at how in every Sakada I'm drawing a shape on the floor. I want you to try to see that shape in every step that I'm doing after the Sakada. He finishes doing that, and we're going to go 6, 7, and 8. About that little movement I'm doing when the leader is doing these Sakadas. To begin with, you're not in this position. Your torso is towards the leader. So every time that he's walking, he's going to send that leg. See how I transfer my weight, and then I'm going to feel how the leader is doing that Sakada. Immediately after I feel that, I'm going to open my hip, let my leg go. I'm drawing a semicircle around me with my foot. I'm going to feel, because I'm just in one foot, I'm going to feel how his body moves and pivots me as well. I'm going to try to collect, touch my foot, and then walk the next step. Then I feel the next forward step led to my left leg, and immediately after that you're going to feel the Sakada, the next Sakada, and you do the same. At first, it's going to be very difficult to do your technical part, which I'm asking you to do. Throw the leg, make a curl, and walk. If you don't feel that you can arrive with the music doing the curl, forget about the curl. The thing is that I want you to work also your musicality. So try to go bam, 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 bam. The only thing that we have to be careful here is how your whole leg is moving and how your foot is ending up moving. So it's very important to realize that my leg cannot move like this. My foot can never leave the ground. That's the reason why I'm asking you to draw a semicircle around you. It's like my leg is a plane, my foot is a plane, and it's gliding, and then it's going to land very nicely. Not land very nicely. It's not an emergency landing. Look. Okay? Once again, because this is happening very quickly, sometimes you feel, when you're learning this movement, you feel that you don't have the time. That's the reason why I want to practice with you a little bit of this curl and go. I'm making a curl and then I'm walking. Eventually that is going to happen so quick that you're going to feel able to bump, 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 bump. Okay? It's very simple, but at the same time, you need to know all the details in order to control that movement. For that, I want you to practice a little of some exercise for your feet to be able to do this. I'm going to bring the bar. So in this part, I want to show you the exercise of In this part, I want to show you how to do this exercise. You're not going to be in front of the bar or the chair or anything that you can hold. We're going to try to walk forward. So we're going to make at least 2 steps. I walk. I keep walking. 1, 2, 3. I always like to count 1, 2, 3. Why? Because the 1, 2, 3 is reminding me of the quick, slow. 1, 2, 3. If you keep repeating that, you're going to find, as a leader as well, you're going to find that 1, 2, 3 very easily in the set of music, like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So when we practice this, I want you to try to go to that. At first, you can do very, very slow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting the number 1 when my weight is being transferred to my left foot and I'm able to release the right. 1, 2, 3. I'm sending the leg, and then what I'm trying to do is I'm going up and I'm not bringing my feet together. By going up, I'm going to do it very in an exaggerated way. I'm walking, boom, but then I have to elongate my body for the next step, right? So when I'm going up, automatically my feet are coming together. But of course, I'm helping that to happen because it's happening very quickly. Bum, bum, bum. Okay? Now, as I always say, it's not the speed is not important. At first, you have to understand what you're doing. The speed is going to come a little bit later. So if I remember how to do this in slow motion, see, I'm going to take my shoe off to show you what my toe is doing. I caress the floor with the outside part of my toe. I collect and I go. There are so many different ways that you can practice this. When you get a little bit more confident, you're going to be able to, you can do a tap and then keep going. The moment that you feel the Sakada, tap, go. But for now, feel that the shape of that movement, that is a circularity. Boom, boom. Okay? If you feel that you're not connecting with the music, ask the leader to make you dance a little bit slower so you can practice this by yourself. With the lead, well, if you're lucky to have a leader at home. If you're not, don't forget that you can replace the leaders with a stick. Well, that's not really true. But, see, in order to do the exercise, bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Notice that every time that my leg is going away from my body, I'm making a pivot with my left foot. That feeling is also very important to be able to acquire this interesting feeling that I was asking you to feel before, which is moving my core together with the movement. Now, when you're practicing with a stick, try to walk like this and see how difficult it's going to keep going around. The more you walk away from the stick, the more you control the stick being in just one straight line. If you walk towards the stick, at some point the stick is like moving all around. You're not responsible of the axis of the leader. However, everything that you're doing affects the axis of the leader. The leader has the ability to move a little bit around, but that's not what tango is all about. We have to move together. So I don't want you to impose your movements to the leader. I want you to share that space. I want you to share that emotion. I want you to connect with that person that is dancing with you. Forget about the label, follower and leader, that I really don't like and I don't care, but connect with that person and make the most of it. Imagine that you're sharing something, that when you're going around, the leader is like, you know, atoms moving around. Boom, 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 boom. That is going to give you a little bit of a very different sensation of these steps. Because the leader is moving you around, it doesn't mean that you're going to, you have heard me say this 1,000 times, it's not like he's moving this shirt. You have to create something, you have to do something. So even when you're walking around him, let's say the leader is completely boring, he's like not going with the rhythm of the music, and but you can still, that is your part. He's not controlling that. Excuse me, you can steal certain things from his lead and still be able to dance to the music. So don't forget, ladies, the way that you're dancing is your way of dancing, nobody else's. No matter who you're dancing with, you can be dancing with, I don't know, Pablo Verón, or you can be dancing with me. You can still be doing your own wonderful things. Nor Pablo nor I are responsible of how is the outcome of your dance that only is with you. Okay? Always remember that. So that would be the lesson for today. There are no other than these exercises that I encourage the ladies to do, there are no other movements that are required. It's just these taking care of these very small details in order to enhance, and from a very simple thing create an even more beautiful thing. It's simple, but it's beautiful at the same time. And I want you to keep practicing and discover the finesse in this movement. Okay? Well, thank you so very much for watching this video. Thank you so very much for allowing me to teach you to be in your living rooms and practice a little bit of what we love to do, which is dancing tango. Don't forget that today we have the extraordinary music of Emiliano Messias at 7:30 p.m. in our regular virtual milonga through Zoom. And I am not getting tired of inviting you to see, to participate in this wonderful workshop that is going to start the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th Sunday of January. We're going to have a musician and a historian telling us about the life of the history, of tango, and it's a wonderful workshop. It's very inexpensive. We're going to charge $40 for the whole workshop, and we want everybody to come. We want to see you. We want to share all this wonderful information that we have for you. So please come tonight to the milonga. I'm going to give you more details about that later today. Okay? And like this channel, subscribe to my podcast, and come to the milongas, because that's the only way for now that we can all be together. Okay? Well, thank you so very much again, and I will see you in a few minutes.